What's up, players? It's your host, Colby, and today I'm coming with you with a lot of great news about what's going on in the crypto world. I haven't been here in a while. I'm trying to reformat this and figure out how I can work this into a daily part of my life, as well as overcome some of the natural fears of speaking in this manner to the public. Because, of course, I can't be completely informed on all the issues. I'm going to make mistakes. I just, as someone who's been in the space a long time, want to build a community around what I feel are the important parts of Bitcoin and the overall crypto markets and how this can actually shape and change society for the better. So if you'll deal with me and listen up, I think we can come to some great conclusions, create a great plan. Also, if you like and want to help promote the channel, that would be wonderful. Please like, subscribe, go to the website, whatever you can do, it helps. All right, now to get into things today, we're going to talk about Michael Saylor, and is he wrong about some of his approaches to Bitcoin? Is this necessarily the way we want people to frame Bitcoin? Also going to talk over Reddit and see some of the general sentiments and what's going on in the community as a large. But let's first start with the big question that'll tie a lot of things all together. Decentralization. It's one of the most crucial components to Bitcoin and what makes it and sets it apart from all these other projects that claim to be competitors or to try to compete with Bitcoin. The decentralization nature and the requirement of physical expenditures of income and work in trade are what makes Bitcoin valuable. This ability to separate from the state, to separate from these centralized forms of either banks or governments, is what makes Bitcoin special. So in the coming months, we're going to continue to expand on this topic. I want to show you a shirt me and the kids made way back in the day. Shows a asteroid coming down to hit some of the dinos. And as you see, some of them are like Ethereum, Solana, X, Polygon, projects that are slowly dying already. Some are at just reaching their height. I don't even know if that one was Solana. Some of the projects are already. It's insane the rate at which these things move. Look at projects that were at the top of the market in 2017. Almost all of them seem to have no real utility today. Oracle chains that claim to put real-world data on the internet with no outside influences. These things never came to fruition. These things don't exist. There's always a way for a human to influence the direction of that. Now, are we coming up with technology, and do I believe that AI may aid in some of this? 100%. But we're not there. And as some other influencers have hinted at in the past, that if a project's trying to make money and doing these sales, it's most likely a scam. It's a get rich free. Very few people have the altruistic thought to make humanity better. And for all I know, that wasn't even the plan with Bitcoin. Maybe it was a get rich scheme for them. But as I have come to understand Bitcoin, and I have come to use Bitcoin, I believe it can be a medium of exchange to free us from some of these tyrannical centralization choke points. These choke points are abilities within government or different agencies that force you to use a medium of exchange or a medium of transportation or a medium of communication that they choose, and that limits you. Bitcoin is going to open that. And by open that up, I mean even the channels of communication can be more free. And we'll get into how we will decentralize the world, and Bitcoin will be the incentive structure that allows us to get there. But for now, let's just look at some of the markets. That's what most people are interested in. And I will like to garner or foster a better discussion on what it means to be a I'm going to do an episode down the line because so many people call it a cult. And it does have these religious or aspects because people do want to use this technology to help make humanity better. Now, are those people few? Are they kind of extremists? Yeah. But that's how a lot of great projects start. Everyone was laughed at when they thought we could fly, go to the moon, go deep undersea, go to different continents. It's just the way humanity is. Many struggle and support the status quo, which is fine too. We should move slowly. So let's go over to the Bitcoin price. Let's refresh this real quick. We're just over here on CoinGecko. Looking at the price, we've zigged and zagged. On the 7-day, kind of showing a downward. The 1 month, an even worse downward trend. Zooming out to the 3 month, we see some choppiness. We could be on the bottom of the channel on a larger scale. When you're looking at the 1 year, perhaps if we hold above this 58, we are looking good. And I kind of agree with a lot of people that seems plausible. It also seems like the low 50s could be a possibility. Regardless, to stay calm in these situations, you just have to look at the utility and what it's trying to do. The game plan, the game theory of it. Bitcoin aims to take over the monetary system. As governments compete with one another, Russia, China, US, they lose faith and trust with one another over time. It's bound to happen. It's human nature. If there's this third party that offers a monetary system that we know is fair and the other parties can't manipulate, this is going to become the system. Now, could it take 100 more years? 100%. So let's go a little closer, a little further down the rabbit hole of this trading, and let's click over into trading view and look at some smaller candles on like the 30-minute. It looks like we're getting a lot of rejection around the 62 and 68. Like I said, I'm not too concerned right now. They'd say you want to maybe hold the 61-ish area. But as we zoom out, I really thought to feel safe, we need to catapult above this area. We really needed to be above 63. So in my personal opinion, I still think anything can happen. And I agree with like influencers like Tone Vase or other people who believe that we could have another 3 months, 2-3 months of choppiness, that we could even possibly hit those lows I looked at on the 1 year chart. Now, am I overly concerned? No. When I got into Bitcoin in 2013, I had no idea we would even reach this level this soon. By the time 2015-16 came around, I did understand what this could do for humans. And I do believe that the dollar will trend towards zero and Bitcoin will trend towards zero. So it's just, what is your time horizon? Are you trying to get rich quick to go to Bali next year? Bitcoin's probably not the vehicle to attempt to help you do that. So again, it comes down to time horizon. But let's continue on over to some of what's going on in the Bitcoin community over on Reddit. Give this a quick refresh. We'll look at some of the different things people are bringing up. And while we're on that moment and what the general sentiment is, I want to talk about Michael Saylor. Great actor in the space, well-spoken, very smart, intelligent man. My problem is he's preaching it just as a hold technology. We're just going to hold our money. This gets richer. This is a valuable asset because of its scarcity. But that is not the goal. The scarcity aspect of it helps it become valuable and attractive. What solidifies it is its nature, is the decentralized nature of Bitcoin and how that can free us from our current system. And whether Michael's just in too high of a position to talk some of these more outlandish theories, he does imply to it that as the dollar loses stability, this is what's gonna help us. Bitcoin can become that stable anchor that helps our economy retain some of its perseverance and power in the upcoming cycle. So, and that led me to another thought that some people have been bringing up is that if the US dollar, if the next presidential candidate, let's say Trump, starts buying up tons of Bitcoin, would he use Bitcoin in the same manner as Michael Saylor? And let's say the dollar becomes de facto stock of the Bitcoin reserve. Semi-pegged ratio that mainly would allow the U.S. to devalue our dollar against other currencies as we print more money to buy more Bitcoin, raising the price of our already large Bitcoin holdings. We then devalue our dollar. Our debt is denominated in dollars. We are allowed to pay off our debt. Our assets grow, and if U.S. gets into it, it allows it to be kind of a leverage fund, just like MicroStrategies is. His stock shares, as they buy Bitcoin, they become a correlated asset to them. And there could be a future where the dollar or some of our debt is used in the same way. We'll see what politicians say and some of the kooky ideas that are come up with, but currently we're seeing politicians embrace the crypto space, whether it's just to attract single voters and because of election time, that's to be unseen. But as the future unfolds, we're going to see some motives and we're going to see some influence from people with money and power that push Bitcoin especially in a positive direction. So we're going to need more than just holding for real adoption. We're going to need to get out there and build. And this is my attempt at it. I use Bitcoin on a daily basis. I mean, it's mainly for degenerate use and I don't make any money off it. But I have seen how good it can be. I've seen firsthand the great benefits that it can have. Now, sure, does freedom come with a price? Or are some people going to use it for nefarious reasons? 100%. People use cars for nefarious reasons. People use butter knives. People use every object known to man for nefarious reasons. Don't be a nefarious person. Don't be a bad guy. That's up to you. That's what makes us different. That you have willpower. You have the ability to control your actions, and that's what makes you a good or a bad human. Whether you listen to those inner demons or whether you can control them and harness them. So we'll go down in further episodes and more talk about how we can adopt Bitcoin as a community. So the next part I'd like to get into as we're going over some of the Reddit conversations. I hear so many people on Bitcoin Reddit mainly talk about don't be a Bitcoin ambassador, as one guy said. Keep your investments to yourself. Okay, that's one. Don't tell the world how much money you have. That's not necessary. Not necessary at all. But to hide Bitcoin away under your mattress is not helping the cause either. Cool, you might get a little appreciation in your value. We're not creating this large community. It's slowing down adoption. Real adoption comes when people use it, when things like the Lightning Network are being used more and more. And you're going to see a plethora of second layer solutions. All the way from exchanges, all the way from decentralized to centralized options. And they're all going to be good. They're all going to be good and helpful for the ecosystem. Just as bad actors within the ecosystem test the constraints and test the security, every actor has its role. It is creating a proper incentive structure, which Bitcoin does, to help build the system and further the cause. So I don't know. It's just a different mindset than many of them have. Coming across this, any Bitcoin YouTubers, hopefully this guy sees me. Maybe I should go promote it. It's hard to be my own shill. I need to be more, but we'll see if people even want to hear this. So, whatever. that's mainly a lot of the things, other than going over some of the meme pool that I wanted to talk about today. And as you can see in the meme pool, we did see a large spike in transactions for a bit. Someone might have been trying to buy a ton and get a few transactions, or sell a bit and get a few transactions through. But as you can see, fees are relatively low. We went some super low fees recently, which was nice if you needed to consolidate or anything. But the Bitcoin network mainly moves and shows how much usage is happening. You can go back and look at it in some different ways. I've always loved... Oh, he's moving down the list, huh? Oh, Hinkin. There you are. Jochin. Ooh, zoom out. Yeah, relatively low and stable fees, maybe a gradual rise over the last little bit. What's interesting about these charts is when you zoom out and see the high fluctuations of times when Bitcoin was under a bit of usage. Really interesting. See the large spikes over Christmas. Spikes have happened many times, but the overall growth trend is going up. So, I enjoy looking at some of the transaction volume and what fees people are paying, because another way to look at it, like I've said in the past, it's not really a fee, it's more a tip. Like, hey, I'm going to give you this amount to try to process my transactions faster. And I think this clearly shows people are wanting things done. Here we go. You can take the information however you choose, but that's what I get. Now, one last thing before we get over into Nostra. I want people to just quickly look over at the Fear and Greed Index, even though this is an interesting metric. It's more about public sentiment, which I think is a more important gauge. It's pretty neutral. We had to come back down. We were overly bullish for too long. We had to come back down to some natural, and now we'll probably slowly shoot back up to bullish over the next couple of months. Now, getting into Nostra, this is what I was meaning when Bitcoin will incentivize a way for us to communicate better. As I start setting up my Nostra account, I will go over with you how this allows us to communicate with one another and create a new era of perhaps social media. One of the problems that plagues companies like X or Twitter, Instagram, others, is there's a ton of bots that just put up bullshit every day. And now the AI is becoming better. The bots are getting better at automation, putting better content. The key will be to actually have to pay for stuff. You don't want spammers. You need to actually force them to pay for transactions. Internet and data storage costs money. We need to have microtransactions for them. Here we go. Now, a lot of people hate this idea. The more I use it, you don't use it that much, bro. I'm telling you, you don't use it that much. These microtransactions are going to matter to you, but it stops spam. It will make the internet a much cleaner, better space. It will allow a trap from content to the creator. You have to stand behind your word. You want to be a publisher, you want to say something, say it. The world can handle it. We need to put on our big boy pants and not be so offended. The world is wide and diverse, and that is good. The diversity is what creates a stability through diverseness. You don't want to be so similar that some, let's say, virus comes along and can just wipe out every person. Diversity is good. I would argue that humanity is too similar as it is. We need more diversity. So with that, we will go further down the Nostra protocol and talk about how this allows you to have a different philosophy about how the internet should be run. And then this philosophy ties into how the decentralization of the internet should be performed. And not only does that make it better for you and eliminate some of these central actors like the big internet providers, they might have to become shovel sellers rather than trying to take money from you every month. We can provide the internet, and that provides us with a safer infrastructure. Same with our energy grid. The Bitcoin incentivizes all of it. So I want you to open your minds, think about how we might be a little closed-minded and how we see the world evolving. And please click like and subscribe, or just give me a comment. Just tell me I'm full of shit. Tell me it's great. Tell me you want to build out on this. Tell me what parts of this conversation you want to elaborate on, how we can go further down this rabbit hole. And I hope more of you will start taking some of the free money. I'm trying to show the amazing technology of Bitcoin. Take the free money. It's out there for you. Again, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to leave it there and go back. Come back tomorrow with some more information. I'm going to, again, like I said, I'm going to mess around with trying to do a live one tonight. I don't know how long or how well that'll go, but we'll play with it. I have a Bitcoin meeting with some local people tonight. And after that, I plan on doing a small live one, go over some of what the sentiments were and what I'm hearing on a local basis. So I appreciate you much, and you all have a great day. Thank you.
There's a lot of bad things in this world, dude. Like fucking skunks, dude. Hell no. Scratching your eye, but it's still fucking itchy, dude. Hell no. Like getting paid not a lot of money, dude, for fucking